Evening, ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome to tonight's presentation. Whether you're watching this live or you're watching this in your 12 weeks or even in the mastery, thanks for joining me on this video. And today's topic, motivation, self-limiting beliefs, and the power of the subconscious mind. Okay. Now, I often hear this from clients, potential clients, or people just kicking the tires, whether I speak to them on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, newsletter. I get it all the time. Gav, I know what to do. You know, I just need to be motivated. I just need to be motivated. I know I need to get to the gym. I know I need to eat the right food. I just need motivation. And we're going to look at whether you actually do need motivation. To a certain extent, you do need a little bit of it to get going. But motivation is finite. It runs out, which means, you know, it will get you started, but it's not going to get you finished. So it's not necessarily what you need. And motivation to get you started, habit is what keeps you going. And that's a great quote from Jim Rohn in the background. Unfortunately, he's passed away. It was a big sort of public speaker, motivational speaker back in the 80s and the 90s, a classic quote from Jim there. But it's true. Let's take it a step further. This is the reason why you guys are going to achieve your goals. If you're going to always rely on motivation, you're going to come up short, because look, motivation is always high for most people when they've slept well, when they've eaten well, when things at work are going really well, when their job's going well, when finances are good, you know, when they're not tired, when they're not emotional, when they haven't had an argument with their wife or their husband or their partner, you know. But this is what you're going to need, because if I went to the gym on the days that I was always motivated, I go every day, and I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying it's just a reality. I've said, you know what, I go to the gym every day, and when I say every day, one of those days could be 20 minutes doing some cardio and some stretching. But there's some type of movement every single day in my week. I've set a goal to do that, but probably 3 of those days, I wake up and think, oh, I wish I could spend an extra half an hour in bed. I don't feel motivated. I'm a little bit sore, but I go anyway, because you need to have a goal, which you guys have. I need a dirty, great reason why. I don't know why I call it a dirty, great reason why, but I call it a BHAG as well, the big, hairy, audacious goal. And it's the reason why, it's your reason why that's going to get you to take action, put your trainers on in the morning, go for that run, get to the gym. So you can't rely on motivation, because when the shit hits the fan, and in life, this happens all the time. You know, when it hits the fan, you can't do anything about that. So you just have to say, regardless of what happens, you know, if the weather's bad, or I don't feel 100%, or I've had a terrible argument with someone at home, or had a horrendous day at work, I'm going to crack open a bottle of wine or drink 4 beers, or whatever your poison is. No, you get to the gym because you've set a goal and you've got a great reason why. Okay. And it's all about leverage. And I've used a slide there with a gun. And I often say this, and it's an extreme example. And forgive me, it's not going to happen in real life. But if I pointed a gun to your head right now, and I said, unless you lose 20 pounds of body fat in the next 6 weeks, I'm going to blow your brains out. Again, it's never going to happen. I'm never going to do that. Chances are no one's ever going to do that to you. So it's a stupid example, but it's just showing the extreme. What are the chances of you losing 20 pounds in the next 6 weeks? I pretty much guarantee all of you would, because you do everything in the realms of possibility to do it. If it meant doing an hour cardio in the morning, an hour of weight training at lunch, and something after dinner, you would, hook by hook or by crook, you would lose that 20 pounds. That's what we call leverage. That's the reason why, because it's the ultimate. It's a 10 out of 10. It's not like, well, let me think about this. You're going to kill me? Do I want to lose 20 pounds? No, you're going to do everything. You're going to pull out all the stops, come rain or shine, weather. Doesn't matter how you're feeling, tired, emotional, not motivated. That's real leverage. And that's the type of thinking we need to have around your goal. And because all of you want to lose weight, we know that's the goal. But it's not the weight on the scales. 20, 30, 40 pounds, whatever that is. That's irrelevant. It's what that weight will allow you to do. And I'm just going to throw some examples out here. More energy, more time and energy to play with the kids, better relationships, better sleep, better sex, more creativeness, more productivity, get back into my old clothes, feel good about myself, better self-image, boost my self-esteem. Excuse me. They're reasons why. That's leverage. So we want to think about why do I want to achieve my goal? What are the reasons that I want to lose 20, 30, 40 pounds, whatever your goal is? Because it's not the goal on the scale. It's not the weight on the scale. That's irrelevant. And if you think I just need to be motivated, you don't need to be motivated to get the goal. That's not what's going to get you there. But you've got to have some passion, a very great reason why. And the reasons why are those things I've mentioned. They're all going to be different to you. And very often, this could be a good chance right now, after this presentation, tomorrow, get pen and paper and write down 20 reasons why you want to achieve your goal. 20. Now, the first 10 you'll get, the other 10, the last 10 will be quite hard, generally. But really think, what was losing the weight or the health goal or whatever you're trying to achieve? And you can do this with any goal. There's leverage and a reason why. You've probably heard of the book, Starts With Why, Simon Sinek. Was it Sinek? I'm not sure. Let's call him Simon Sinek. Starts with why. Everything starts with why. Why do you want to do it? And that's what you need. You need leverage. Now, not 10 out of 10 or 100 out of 100 leverage, gun to the head type leverage, but somewhere along that continuum, you need to think, why is this important to me? Okay, that's what I mean by leverage. Here we are. You can take it on from there. Remember why you want to do it. Envisage your success if you do it and feel the regret if you don't do it. How are you going to feel in 12 weeks' time or however long you've got left on the program if you don't achieve the goal that you set out to do? I know all of you have got the capabilities and the skill set, because the actual skill set of losing body fat is very, very simple. It's really basic. You know this: calorie deficit and move your body. That's the skill set needed to lose body fat. It's almost too simple. What stops people getting the best result they could get is the psychological aspect, whether they can be bothered to do it. Okay, and it all comes around goal setting, which if you watch the modules, some of you have, some of you haven't, you would have stopped the video and emailed me. I will weigh X amount by this date. Some of you have, some of you haven't. That's why I'm doing this module again. And a lot of people, not necessarily you guys, a lot of people have a lot of self-limiting beliefs around anything. And whether it's losing weight, making money, relationships, business, building their company, anything that is important to anyone, many people say, I just can't do that. But let's look at it in the realms of losing weight, which is what we're trying to do on this program. And you may have said some of these things before. Again, this is not talking to every single one of you, but you will understand what I'm talking about. Very often get clients say that I can't lose weight. I've tried everything. I can't do that. I'm always late. There's no way it will work for me. Here's one with the relationships. All the best men, women are taken. We often hear that. No one cares about me. And that's a bit like a woe is me mentality. I'm a failure. That's just my luck. These are self-limiting beliefs, which every single one of us, including me, have said to ourselves at some point. Okay, and it's so damaging. And these self-limiting beliefs, it's part of our programming. It's come from, you can blame your parents for this, but you can also thank them for everything, because if you listen to this presentation, believe it or not, you're a concoction of everything that they've given you, and schooling and environment and the people you met. A big, melting pot of emotions and environment has led you to where you are now. But we've all got these self-limiting beliefs, and some are a lot stronger than others. And with regards to losing weight, very often we see the ones around, I can't lose weight, I've tried everything, I'm big bones, it's genetics. That's very often a bullshit story that we tell ourselves. Okay, you've got to be very careful of the things you say to yourself. I said, it's just a story. Very often just a bullshit story. It's a story that we believed because maybe something happened to actually write that story. For example, let's use losing weight as an example. Someone's tried to lose 20 pounds, and they're not that overweight, they've got 20 pounds to lose, and they've tried something before. And usually when most people try to lose weight and they fail, is because they didn't have the right plan in the first place, or they didn't stick at it long enough. They didn't show some consistency. But if you haven't got the right plan, if you're not in a calorie deficit, if you don't understand what that means, you're going to fail. So people come away from that story and think, I've tried to lose weight. It doesn't work for me. Or I tried that, I cut out all my carbs and I just put all the weight back on again. So you've given yourself your story, you've written your own story, you've created your own reality from something that isn't even true. What you've done when people say, I've tried everything, what that means is they've tried a couple of things. It was a shitty plan, it didn't work. And now you created that story. That's the self-limiting beliefs that we create for ourselves. So it's usually we've given ourselves evidence, we've shown ourselves that this doesn't work. Okay, and that, feedbacks as loop confounds. The more evidence of that, the less chance we've got of trying again. And that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you don't try again, it convinces yourself that your story was correct. Hopefully that makes sense. Here we are. Self-fulfilling prophecy is a socio-physiological phenomenon of someone predicting or expecting something. And this prediction or expectation coming true simply because the person believes it will, and the person's resulting behaviors align to fulfill the brief. So whatever you say to yourself, if you think that, that's actually going to be the truth. If you say to yourself, I can't lose weight, I've tried everything. What are the chances of someone actually losing weight if they're saying to themselves, I've tried everything? If you've tried everything, there's no point trying, which means you ain't going to try. Or all the good-looking men are gone, all the good-looking women are gone. If you're walking around with that thought in your head, every person that potentially could have been the right person for you, you'd be oblivious to them because you've shut off the possibility. And that's the same with making money, relationships, building a business, anything in life. Can't lose weight. I've tried everything. No, you haven't. You've tried one or two things that didn't work. You've given yourself evidence that they don't work. You tell yourself it won't work for you. There we are. Tried a few things, didn't work. They've all struggled to lose weight. And then they try again, it doesn't work. They've given themselves proof. And this is where the self-sabotage comes in. What's the point of even trying? Oh, I always fail. And you get this massive loop, a negative feedback loop, where your own bullshit story is giving you proof, so you don't even bother trying. It creates more of a story, and you just get this vicious circle going round and round and round. People get stuck on that. I've tried everything, doesn't work for me. Genetics, big bones, slow metabolism. I've never had a client that's followed what I show them not lose weight. Now, some will lose 20, 30 pounds, some will lose 10 or 15 pounds, but that was down to the individual. You've all got the skills, the mindset, the philosophies to lose all the weight that you want. For some, it will happen faster than others. But you now know it's possible because you've got the right skill set. And all we've got to do is work on the mindset. The skill set is easy. Skill set is move your body, get in a calorie deficit. There, I'll teach you that in 5 minutes. The mindset is the tricky part. Here's an interesting thought. The subconscious is always eavesdropping on your thoughts. It's not my phrase. I read it in a book. I think it's brilliant. Your subconscious is always eavesdropping on your thoughts. So we've got the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. Now we think we're in control, but it's really our subconscious mind that's in the driving seat. Subconscious mind is formed from everything that's gone on in our life. Classic example of subconscious mind. You're walking across the road and if you haven't seen a car and it beeps its horn, or you see out the corner of your eye, you jump. You didn't even have to think about it. It was just unconscious, subconscious, your body reacted in a split second to try and save your life. That's your subconscious. So your subconscious is running the whole deal, whether you like it or not. Your conscious thoughts, you think that you're in control, but your subconscious is always listening to what you say. So if you tell yourself anything good or bad, your subconscious is your programming, will believe it. If you tell yourself, I can't do that, or I'm no good at this, or I'm always this, or that person is this, if you tell yourself that, your subconscious will go out of its way to make it happen. No one ever got any results saying, I can't do that. And oh shit, I want a gold medal. No. And that's not to say the opposite of that is saying, well, I'm amazing and I'm going to win. Doesn't mean you're going to win because you've programmed the opposite. But you've got a bloody good chance of something happening. So be careful what you say, good and bad, because your subconscious is picking up on those thoughts, those feelings, those suggestions, and go out its way to make things true, become your reality. Negative and positive. You've got to be very careful, that inner dialogue, that inner voice. And we've all got it. I tell you what, if if our inner voice was on loudspeaker for everyone else to hear, apart from the fact that everyone else's inner voice would be on speaker as well, but if someone could just hear you, you'd have to be incarcerated. They would think that you were absolutely fucking nuts. They would think they'd cart you off to a mental institution. If someone put your own inner voice on loudspeaker right now, they would think that you'd round the twist. Think about that. All the stuff that you say, oh God, under your voice, all that thing you mutter under your voice, God, it'd be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Be very, very careful of that inner voice. Good or bad, makes things happen. Here's a great one. Don't believe your own thoughts. They're not always the truth. Isn't that brilliant? Don't believe your own thoughts. Just because you think something doesn't necessarily mean it's true. It's your conditioning, it's your beliefs, it's the environment or your experiences or the proof you've given yourself or the bullshit story that you've written for yourself based on false proof, false evidence. Don't believe your own thoughts. It's very hard. But when you get a grip of this, you can think something, okay, is that actually the truth? Do I know that to be the truth? Do I 100% know that to be the truth? Most people are very unconscious to their own thoughts. They think something, well, it must be true because that's what I believe. Don't believe your own thoughts. Not all the time. Sometimes you're going to be right, but they're not always the truth. So question your own beliefs, your own thoughts. And this is where it comes from. Your own beliefs and thoughts, the environment, your school, your parents, events, life, things that have happened, country, race, religion. Now, isn't it interesting? Now, I'll be honest, I'm not a religious person. If you are, great. That's not my argument here. But isn't it interesting that the vast majority of America, United States of America, are Christian? So everyone that's growing up in that environment, if you're from America, most people tend to be Christian. Isn't it interesting that most people that grow up in India, it could be Hindu, or most people maybe in Thailand or Vietnam could be Buddhist. You see what I'm saying? Where you were born and your environment shapes you. Now, they said there's meant to be about 200 religions or 200 gods. There can only be one. But everyone in their own environment, their own country, believes what they've been taught. And that's what causes, the arguments with race, religion, politics, war. It's because people believe what they've been taught. And that's kind of natural, but you've got to think, well, hang on, just because I believe this, what about what everyone else has been taught, what they believe? We don't have to, not everything you've been taught is the truth. Apparently Buddha said this, thoughts become things. I like it. It's always said, a bit of a cliche, isn't it? Thoughts become things, but it's true. What you think about most of the time, it's what you put into practice, put into action. If you think positive things, the possibility of positive things happening to you are far greater. If you're always thinking negative things, guess what's going to happen? You're going to invite more of that into you. Thoughts become things. This is a great quote. Wayne Dyer, again, another philosopher that's passed away about 5-6 years ago now. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. I love that quote. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. Wayne Dyer. Last one, load of quotes. This is my favorite. You don't believe what you see what you believe. And I'm going into a bit more depth on this one. You don't believe what you see what you believe. Two people could be walking down the street. An incident happens. Something, I'm not even going to think of the incident. Something occurs on the street. One person can view that same incident as extremely traumatic, causes them stress, they're upset. The other person, it is what it is, doesn't stress them at all. Why? Same incident, because it's all based around what you believe. You see what you believe. If you believe that situation to be threatening, to be toxic, to be a problem, that's what you're going to see. So you don't believe what you see, because we all see the same things. You see what you believe. So what you see, your perception of something, is based on your own beliefs, and your own beliefs are not always true, which is why the difference between everyone is so vast. I find it fascinating. I just put a post up today on LinkedIn about the snowflake generation. It's an old post. I've posted it a couple of times. But why is everyone so offended? And look, we do live in the age of the snowflake, you know, the age of cancel culture. You can't tell a joke. You've got to be so careful about who you're talking to, who you offend. You can't say this, you can't say that. You know, I'm not sure it's going the right way. That's just me. But the same scenario that someone could find hilariously funny, someone could be deeply offended. Same situation, but it's based on their own beliefs. They're seeing something based on their own beliefs. That's why it causes a lot of arguments, a lot of stress between people, because we can't see past our own beliefs. They may always not be right. So on that note, thanks for listening to the presentation. I thought I had a slide to end there, actually. Apparently I didn't. I shall see you on the next video and your next coaching call. All the best.